Hey everyone, welcome to Crappy Reviews, the home of No Rules Reviews. What does No Rules Reviews mean exactly? Well, it means whatever I want it to mean. I don't adhere to any set professional standard. It's pretty obvious. I mean, I call this thing Crapgamer Reviews. If you don't like it, don't watch. It's pretty simple. Don't be that guy. Don't be him. Anyway, with it being Star Wars week and I'm always doing Star Wars related reviews, I'm surprised that this one totally blew my mind and slipped past me. Disney Infinity 3.0, which is obviously the Star Wars one. So I thought it'd be a really good idea to do Disney Infinity 3.0, the Star Wars edition. And if you guys didn't know, this one was pretty cool because it came with a couple of the Clone Wars characters, Ahsoka and Anakin from the Clone Wars series, and those are obviously fan favorites and things like that. And Star Wars totally being popular again, and I know it's like toys to life situation, and you know, some people might think that's kiddie or whatever, and in a lot of ways I suppose it is, but at the end of the day you can't look at that and say, oh well, I wouldn't want to play that game because it's like toys to life or anything like that, because you would be missing out on actually a pretty good action platforming sandbox game with a lot of really fun elements to it. And so yeah, it's discontinued now or whatever, so you can find these things pretty cheap. But at the end of the day, I think that this game is definitely worth the money. Graphically, it's got a bit of a really cool art style to it, but it does look good. I think there is an abundance of pop-in on some areas, but for the most part, it handles extremely well. And the characters look like they do in like the Clone Wars series and things like that. They have a little bit of a anime type edge to them, but I think it still looks good and it's kind of fun, and the music is really good and very Star Wars-esque, including some licensed Star Wars music as well. One of the cool things about it is you can play with different characters in different settings. So depending on the characters that you have or that you buy or whatever, like I found a whole bunch on sale for like $1.50 or something. So I've got a ton of characters to choose from. And so if you wanted to see maybe Darth Maul play on a particular area, then you can do that. Now, what's cool about this also is there's the base game. You get the starter kit. You can do like the Anakin and Ahsoka stuff, but there's totally different playsets. Like, I bought the Force Awakens one, which came with Finn and Rey, and they have their own story set their own story. So it's like a completely different game, and it's just as long and good as the base game that comes with the game. Same thing with the older one as well. They came with Luke and Leia. That comes with their own like levels and stuff like that. And then there's a sandbox mode where you can just play around and do whatever you want. The mechanics in this particular one, because I have the other ones as well, is much more in-depth, which is one of the reasons why it's such a shame that this franchise didn't continue on, because they were really getting in-depth with it. Now, it wasn't like RPG in-depth, but it was still more in-depth than the earlier iterations. And I think there was a lot of places that they could go with it, including like the combat system was redesigned in this one, and it was a little bit more complex, and it's just kind of a shame that they didn't really get a chance to grow from what they were going, because like with most things, when you have a situation where a game gets kind of saturated, because you had the Skylanders games, you have the Amiibos, and then you had this, some people looked at it as a little bit too many. So at the end of the day, there's different ones. There's Rise Against the Empire, which was the classic Star Wars trilogy with Luke and Leia, Han Solo, Chewbacca, and things like that. There's Twilight of the Republic, which is like the Clone Wars stuff, which is pretty cool because there's different characters that you can choose from, including Anakin, Yoda, Ahsoka, Darth Maul. There's The Force Awakens, which I was talking about earlier with Finn and Rey and Kylo, which I all have. And there's some other ones as well, and you can mix and match with some of the other toys as well, but I think that as far as like the story goes, it depends on which one. You know, there's different types of stories depending on which set you want to play as, but it's really cool. You can get these things super cheap right now. If you're a Star Wars fan, this is like the ultimate Star Wars game, because you kind of make your own adventure and you can mix and match and play who you want to play as and things like that. So I definitely think it's well worth the money, and a fantastic way to kind of end Star Wars week on my channel. Something that you would really maybe unexpectedly enjoy. Maybe don't tell anybody you have it, but you could probably pick up the whole starter kit for like under $20 right now. Definitely do that if you can, because it's well worth it. I'm going to go ahead and give this Star Wars Disney Infinity 3.0 a 8 out of 10. It's really good. It's Star Wars-tastic. It's got a lot of cool Star Wars stuff in there. It's fun. It's got some decent voice acting, not great, but still a pretty damn good game. and definitely worth checking out. Thanks for watching. Rack 'em up. Crapgamer out.